The new teacher had only been at West Haven High for 3 days when they made her bark like a dog in the hallway. It started as a cruel joke, one of many. The students had laughed, the security cameras had mysteriously glitched, and the staff had said nothing. No one knew her name yet. No one cared to ask. To them, she was just another one, another fragile hire who wouldn't last the month. But what they didn't know, what no one knew, was that this soft-spoken woman had a past. And she had receipts. Her name was Ms. Evelyn Monroe, mid-30s, sharp eyes behind wireframe glasses. Long auburn hair always tied back in a neat bun. She wore calm like a shield tailored slacks, pressed blouses, and a quietness that people mistook for weakness. She had just transferred from a private school in Vermont. No one asked why. No one asked what she saw there. On her first day, Evelyn walked into chaos. West Haven High was not a school. It was a battlefield held together by duct tape and denial. Kids roamed freely during class hours. Lockers were defaced with slurs and threats. Teachers tiptoed through the halls like hostages. And the worst of it all, the student council president, Lucas Granger, and his 2 friends, Tyrell James and Wes Carter, ruled the school like a gang. Rich families, clean transcripts, private lawyers, permanent smirks. They weren't just bullies. They were predators in school uniforms. It began with small things. Her classroom door would accidentally get jammed shut during her lectures. Her lunch would vanish. Graffiti would appear on her whiteboard. Teach the dogs to sit, not to speak. On the 3rd day, she stayed late to organize supplies. She didn't hear them until the door slammed shut behind her. The hallway lights flickered. The school was nearly empty. Just the 4 of them now. Lucas grinned, flanked by Wes and Tyrell. He held up his phone. "Let's play a game, Miss Monroe. You bark, we let you out. You don't, well, cameras are off. No witnesses." For a second, Evelyn said nothing. She stared at the boys, and something cold passed behind her eyes. Then, quietly, she got down on her knees and barked. Once, twice, 3 times. The boys howled with laughter. She got up, fixed her blouse, and walked past them without a word. That was the last time anyone saw her as weak. The next morning, Evelyn submitted her letter of resignation. The principal accepted it without much surprise. But that same afternoon, she returned not as a teacher, but as a guest speaker at the school board meeting, where the media had also been invited. She walked up to the microphone, pulled a thick file from her bag, and laid it on the table. What she said next changed everything. She had spent the last 2 nights digging. She knew where to look. She'd once worked with a private investigative firm. Before she became a teacher, she helped build legal cases against corporations, corruption, fraud, even assault. She had contacts. She had tools. And now she had proof. Lucas Granger had been caught shoplifting high-end electronics from his father's tech store, but charges were buried under a juvenile confidentiality clause. Tyrell James had been involved in an assault case against a classmate in another school settled quietly out of court. Wes Carter's family paid hush money to cover up his hacking into faculty emails, which included accessing exam answers and changing grades for himself and friends. Evelyn had it all. Names, photos, dates, even scanned police reports. "I barked because I needed them to think they won," she said into the microphone. "But I didn't come here to be their victim. I came here to protect the students and staff this school has abandoned." The room fell silent. The local news ran the story that same evening. By the end of the week, the district launched an investigation. Lucas, Tyrell, and Wes were suspended indefinitely. One of the assistant principals resigned, and the principal himself was placed on leave pending inquiry. In the days that followed, something shifted at West Haven High. Teachers stood taller. Students whispered in awe. Evelyn's resignation had been accepted, but she didn't leave. She came back as a consultant for school safety and student conduct reform. And something else happened, too. A quiet girl from the sophomore class, Ariana Brooks, stopped her in the hallway one day. "You didn't have to do all that," she said, eyes wide. "Why'd you take that risk?" Evelyn smiled gently. "Because I used to be you," she said. The story spread far beyond the school. Parents began attending board meetings. Other teachers at nearby schools began speaking out. Evelyn Monroe became a symbol not of revenge, but of quiet power, of the courage to expose the truth, even when no one believes you. In a world that often confuses silence for surrender, she reminded everyone that sometimes the quiet ones are simply waiting for the right moment to strike back with purpose. And when they do, no one forgets. Final message: true strength isn't loud. It's patient, it's strategic, and it knows when to bark so the world finally listens.